This chant is for the goddess of wealth, Lakshmi. Visualize Lakshmi as a beautiful woman sitting on a lotus flower with incredible beauty and luster. Immerse yourself in the music. Hiranyavarnam Harini Hiranyavarnam Harini Swarna Rajadasrajam Chandram Hiranmayim Lakshmi Jatavedo Maavaha. Lakshmi is golden colored. She has all the wealth in the world. She will dissolve the sin in order to bring money. Money doesn't come because of sin. Harini Harini, she dissolves sins that block money coming. Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Trayambake Devi Narayani Namostute. The mantra for Lakshmi is Shreem. Shreem will bring you luxury. Everything beautiful is Lakshmi. Shreem. Everything auspicious, everything that you enjoy is in the domain of Lakshmi. She is the personification of happiness on the earth plane. Hiranyavarnam Harini Swarna Rajadasrajam Chandram Hiranmayim Lakshmi Jatavedo Maavaha. Sarva Mangala Mangalye.
Hello, everyone. I know you're enjoying that music. That is from Dancing with Shiva. It's on Shreem, it's on Pillai Center under audios or downloads. You can find it there. It's an amazing CD, by the way. So welcome to our Shreem Brzee Powertime forecast for June. So here you'll find out all the wonderful dates you can tune into that will really help make your June most impactful when it comes to your Shreem Brzee practice. So I'm going to give a quick overview and then we're going to get into the nitty gritty. So basically what's happening in June is that we have a few power times that are worth our while for mentioning. The main ones that we always talk about: Fridays, a full moon, new moon, and then we actually have Father's Day, which is a great time to connect with the Divine Father. And we have the summer solstice, which is a time where we can reconnect with our check-in point. When I like to think of it like every 3 months, there's these energies that we check in throughout the year. So there's the solstices and the equinoxes, and the summer solstice in June, which is a pivotal time. It is when our day, depending on where you are in the world, the amount of day and night in your day will shift. And so that impacts us from the perspective of the movement of the sun. It helps us to kind of move into a new season. So here we are in June, halfway through our year, and it gives us an opportunity to take a look at where we've been and where we're going. So maybe you want to take a look at and check in for June. How far did you come on your goals for 2022? What do you want to accomplish for the rest of this year? It is a good time to be grounded. Also, because Dr. Pillai has been talking a lot about the Pentecost, which is on June 5th, and how this is a pivotal shift in energy. He's talking about how the golden age will be coming in on this day. So that's a week from today, June 5th. So the Holy Spirit, as Dr. Pillai talks about it, is God power. And that means it can transcend any religion. And in our case, for Shreem Brzee, Dr. Pillai has specifically said that Shreem Brzee is a Holy Spirit. It's a Holy Spirit that can come into your life and transform your life in a variety of ways, and specifically to bring material wealth without impurities. Now, isn't that beautiful? Imagine having wealth consciousness without greed, without jealousy, without possession. It's the most pure aspect of material abundance. And Shreem Brzee embodies that. So the more we are in tune with Shreem Brzee, the more we get to bring that into our lives. So really important to tune in to Dr. Pillai on June 5th, the Pentecost program. If you haven't already, there's a link below this video where you can register. There's actually 2 ways to join. One is just the Pentecost day, which is June 5th, and the other is a 6-week program. And the 6-week program is where you'll get the Shreem Brzee teaching during one of those weeks. And then if you're in mystery school, you will also receive this Pentecost program as a gift. So that's a little bit about what's going on at Pillai Center. So let's move into our PowerPoint now, where I can share a bit more about the details of our Power Times this month. Let's just share my screen here. And feel free to post questions. I will definitely get to them at the end. Okay, you should be able to see. I'm starting soon. And here we go. We already went through that. So we're starting out in the waxing phase of the moon. Why? Because actually today is the new moon. So quick reminder, do your tarpanam, your ancestor offerings today, all day long, as many times as you can during daylight hours. It's a helpful time to help. It's a time to help your ancestors transition into higher realms of light. Which that means, though, that after today, we're in a waxing phase of the moon. So we've been waning up until this point where the energy is kind of allowing us to release more. And now we're going into the waxing phase, which is abundance, it's growth, it's focusing in on what you want to create. And we have that from June 1st through June 13th, where we have the full moon. And then fast forward to the end of the month, when we have a new moon on the 28th, we have the we have a waxing phase happening for the last 2 days of June. So what's next? Fourth moon. Fourth moon is for removing obstacles. Ganesha and Ganesha and Lakshmi are always seen together and helping to remove obstacles and build wealth. And that is what you can do on these two significant days of the month, June 2nd, as well as June 16th. Now, all these times are in US-based time zone, so you can look to see how they affect your dates and days on the Hora Watch by Astroved or the Astroved Assistant app or any Vedic calendar. June 10th and the 23rd are the 11th moon. These are times to connect with Vishnu, the consort of Lakshmi, these power couple, these divine male-female energies come together to create the perfect balance of what is needed to sustain us on the earth plane. And what is needed to sustain us on the earth plane? Health, wealth, happiness, all that we need, right? So that's what this divine couple, Lakshmi and Vishnu, do. And so the 11th moon is a wonderful day for him. And that is where we want to connect with him. And his mantra is Om Namo Narayanaya. You can say that 108 times or just a few times on that day. And the 10th, June 10th, falls on a Friday. So that's a double power time. When we get two wealth power times overlapping on the same day, we call them double or triple, depending upon how many are layered in. So on June 10th, we have a double power time. So it'll be great to really focus in on your meditation, your manifestations, especially since it's a waxing phase of the moon. So we have a really good conjunction of energy on that day that is super supportive of our wealth blessings. Then we have 13th moons, and 13th moons are the time for karma clearing, removing our karma. And now remember, I just talked about a double power time. Well, this 13th moon is a double power time. Why? Because it falls on a Saturday. Dr. Pillai talks about how Saturn rules Saturdays. Makes sense, right? And when a planet rules that day, the energy is just more present, right? So and the 13th moon gives us a time window to remove our karma, to be cleansed of karmic patterns that have been holding us back. And then Saturn is a planet that is associated with karma removal. It is, he gives us lessons in order to progress, in order to evolve. And so when Saturday and the 13th moon overlap, it's called Shani Pradosham, Saturn Pradosham. Very, very powerful time to remove stubborn karma, because Saturn often reveals stubborn karma to us. So this is a perfect day for that removal process. It happens twice a month in June. So we have a beautiful opportunity to be cleansing as well as building growth in June. So June 11th, as well as June 25th is our Saturn Pradoshams or Shani Pradoshams. So please make sure you do your rituals that day. We recommend that you do what we call the surrogate spiritual technology to release karma, to taking a lime or lemon or coconut or a pumpkin, placing it on the throat, the shoulders, the head, around the head, and then breaking or cutting it, and then discarding all of that and cleaning it. Do not consume any of it. That has now absorbed your negativity, your karma, and we want to dispose of it. There's videos that we've created. In fact, I did a whole, webinar on what to do to release karma. So check those out and definitely do your practice. So simplest thing, get a coconut or lime or lemon, do the technique. You can hold it at the throat, the shoulders, the head. You can chant Brzee, or the alternative mantra is Tirunila Kantam, if you know that one. If not, Brzee, Dr. Pillai said, is a karma removal mantra. So you'll definitely want to make sure you note these in your calendar this month. Super powerful. Next, we have the full moon day. So we're gearing all the way up to the full moon day, which is on the 13th of June. Maximum power for our wealth building. Now, if you remember in May, I talked about how the sun moved into Taurus and it'll be there for 30 days. And that's an opportunity for us to tap into this sun magnifying the energy of the second house of the zodiac, which signifies finances. And in the personal transformation program, Dr. Pillai gives, which is a 12-month program that Dr. Pillai did many, many years ago, he gave the mantra Brzee in this program for that reason, to use this time period, this 30 days, as an opportunity to tune in and accentuate your ability to have financial gains. So we're still in that time period, right? All the way to when the sun moves into Gemini, which would be on June 15th. So right now, all the way through June 15th, we have this extra blessing of the sun in Taurus. That means the full moon will have the sun in Taurus. So an added benefit there. And all of, as well as that June 10th that I mentioned, which is a double power time, now making it a triple power time. So we've got lots of blessings the first half of June for building wealth, removing karma, building wealth, removing karma. Then we move, after the full moon, we move into the waning phase. Now, let's go back for 1 sec. We talked about the full moon, and what's important to do on full moons is extra practice. So Dr. Pillai recommends you write Shreem Brzee 1,008 times on full moon days. It may take you a while. You could take a couple days to do it. That's fine. But if you focused in on and did this, imagine what it could do to your consciousness by continually focusing and writing Shreem Brzee 1,008 times. Write it, chant it, do meditations on it. We host fire rituals, fire labs on the new moon. I'm sorry, on the full moon day, which, sorry, just checking something. All right, I wanted to make sure there's no issues. Sorry about that. So on the full moon days, you want to make sure that you are tuning in and doing a lot more of your practice. Fire rituals are amazing ways to accelerate your practice. We talked about this on another webinar, how to accelerate your practice, rituals. And Pillai Center hosts every full moon an extended meditation as well as a fire ceremony. I'm going to, this month, June 13th full moon, we're actually hosting a different type of fire ritual. It's going to be, it's called a mini fire lab. And we will give you instructions on how to do it at home, and then you'll be invited to do it. It's with a little candle and a dropper of ghee, and you'll be doing it along with us. So Priest Premraj, who's normally doing the full Vedic Fire Lab, is traveling. He won't be able to host this month, but we will be hosting it with a mini Fire Lab guided by Sucharita, and we hope that you will join us there. We'll be following that with a 4-hour meditation. So lots of things to do. That's 5 hours we'll be together on this full moon in order to take advantage of all this amazing energy that's flowing through to us for our benefits here. So we hope to see you there. And how you join is through Wealth Powertime events, which the link should also be below this video. So after this peak power time, we move into the waning phase of the moon, time to let go, release everything that holds us back, right? Repositioning who we are, releasing old patterns, which bring us right to the new moon. And I mentioned earlier, the new moon is significant for ancestral rituals to honor the ancestors, heal whatever trauma has happened, and release them into higher realms. Dr. Pillai talks about doing tarpanam or ancestor offerings to release their impact or their influence on us. They have thoughts, they have feelings, they have desires, and that is all being directed towards us. And so the more we can help them move into higher realms, heavenly realms, and they send their blessings as opposed to their attachments or their thoughts, the better off we are. So that is the new moon on the 28th. So now we're going to jump back to the Pentecost, which I mentioned earlier. Dr. Pillai has said the upcoming Pentecost is the beginning of the transformation of the human race. Once the Holy Ghost or the Holy Spirit enters your body, you will no longer be ignorant. And this is a time where we can receive these amazing blessings and empowerment and anointing from Dr. Pillai. So that is where you can join the Pentecost program, either for just the 1 day or the full 6 weeks, and receive this initiation into the Holy Spirit. Dr. Pillai says that Shreem Brzee is one of the forms of the unnameable God, assuming all these different forms. So Shreem Brzee is one of these forms. She's the goddess. And when we connect with Shreem Brzee, especially during the purity of the Pentecost, we have this beautiful blessing that can come through, a wonderful blessing that can come through from Shreem Brzee to receive material blessings without impurities. Imagine that. Imagine having money without greed, finances without issues, without any restraint. So that's the beauty of the Pentecost, and that's on June 5th. Now, the Father's Day. So Dr. Pillai talks about how your father is a significant being in your life, whether you have a relationship with him or not, or whether you have, your biological father or not. The energy of a father, biological or someone who raised you, or your divine father, is so important. A few reasons. One, Dr. Pillai says that our ancestors may not be resting peacefully, and that is can create disruption, can create hardship, which is why we just talked about making sure we're doing ancestor offerings on the new moon. But Father's Day is a time to connect and remember that. Also, Dr. Pillai says that father is a mantra. It's charged with this energy, this connecting to God. That's why we call God the Father, right? We call the goddess our mother. We call God our father. They're these divine beings who are protecting, loving, and nurturing us along the way. So, wonderful day to connect with fathers, or if you don't have a relationship with your father, sending good energy, healing whatever's inside of you that might be creating some restriction or restraint, and allowing this love to flow forth and receiving the blessings for that. Speaking of father, we often refer to Shreem Brzee, Vishwamitra as the father of Brzee. He gave Dr. Pillai the Brzee mantra, and his star is Anuradha. And actually, Lakshmi's star is also Anuradha. Every month we celebrate their star, which is, this month is on June 12th. And it brings another time where we want to connect with them and do extra connection. In fact, that day, because it's an Anuradha star day and it is falling on a Sunday, I'm doing a workshop that is dedicated to Vishwamitra. So you'll definitely want to tune into that. Sorry about that. So tune in on June 12th, which is the Anuradha Star Day, for our webinar. Fridays. I mentioned this earlier as well. Every Friday in June gives us, every Friday in June gives us, there's 4 of them, time to connect with Shreem Brzee. So it's a weekly power time that you always just know. It's the Goddess Friday. Venus is ruling Fridays. Venus is the planet that governs material comforts, and Lakshmi is the overlord of Fridays. So every Friday, Goddess Friday, do a little extra ceremonies, whether you're doing a hydration to your statue or yantra if you have one, or extra Shreem Brzees. You can also tune into our free group chanting that happens every Friday on this channel. Tip of the month. So do a fantasy meditation. Dr. Pillai did a video about this, and I have mentioned it before, and I will continue to mention it because it is so important. Do this every day. Just build up whatever that fantasy that you want to create in your life. This is such an important part of the manifestation process. Dream up what it is you want to create and just live inside of that fantasy for however long a period of time you can, whether it's 5 minutes, or maybe you're driving your car and focusing, or sitting in meditation and really just feeling everything about it, feeling the full sensation. It's such an important process. So I hope that you're doing this every day. And this is a reminder to make sure you do it, and especially do it on Powertime days that we just mentioned. Here are all our free events. Every Friday, Shreem Brzee group chanting. These happen on Shreem Brzee official YouTube and Facebook. It's 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight. June 12th, we're doing the Vishwamitra, Father of Brzee workshop that I'll be hosting. Then on June 25th, we'll do the Powertime update for the next month, so in July. And if you're interested in joining us for the full moon, where we'll be doing the mini Fire Lab guided as well as a 4-hour meditation. Join us for Wealth Power Time events. You also will receive every week pujas on Fridays, and that will be either with Priest Premraj or Sucharita, depending on availability for this month, as Priest Premraj is shifting his location. This is the workshop that I mentioned, Father of Brzee. Learn more about Vishwamitra. This is an amazing being. If you've ever Googled him or looked him up or heard anything about him, he's just extraordinary. And I'm so excited to be hosting this because I have some footage from the temple, his temple in India, and some beautiful stories that I'll share. All right, so if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them now, and I will be happy to answer them for you. Okay, question. I heard you say that it is good to say Shreem Brzee at night, midnight. Is there a good time to use the mantra clean? All goddesses are more available, I should say, in the evening. So when you're talking about 11 p.m. to midnight, so that's a good time for Kleem, for Shreem Brzee, for any goddess mantra. Goddesses are just more available at night. So yeah, no problem there. Someone's mentioning about their father not being a good person. Like I said, if you have a relationship with your father or not have a relationship with that, you don't have to have a personal relationship. But healing is good for you no matter what has happened in your life with your father. And so this day, this Father's Day, gives us time where we can have that happen for us, or welcome that, or ask the divine to intervene on our behalf and allow the blessings to come forth from us. But you don't have to have a personal relationship with that particular person. And if that is way too painful to even touch, God your Father, God your Father, God your Father, focusing in on the love and blessings of the infinite divine being who is our Father, our Godfather. June 28th, there's a question about what happened on June 28th. June 28th is the new moon. And that is the time where you want to do ancestor offerings. So it's a time where the moon looks black in the sky, but really it's just no sun is shining upon it. And it's when our ancestors are more active. So sometimes you might actually feel a little funky. You might feel some energy because you may notice the ancestors active more during this time, in which case you want to make sure you're doing your ancestor offerings. Ancestor offerings happen daylight, wherever you are, between sunrise and sunset, not in the evenings. And you take rice flour, black sesame seeds, if you have them. If you have darba grass, great. If you don't, that's fine. And put it in your hand a little bit, in your right hand, a little drop of water, mix it up, and make an offering to the ancestors. And I just say something simple like, I call upon all the ancestors from my mother's side, all the ancestors from my father's side, please come and receive this offering. Let go of all your worldly attachments and worries, receive this offering and move up into the light, move into the higher heavenly realms. And when you get there, please bless me and our family. And you can do that, and then you rinse it off. You could not just, you want to discard it into some water, you could take it out into a field or a stream or put it down the drain. Just be careful. And that's what you do. And you can do it actually several different times to feel more cleansed. Very powerful ritual. All right. So sorry, there's someone asking about June 13th is the full moon. June 28th is the new moon. So those are the correct timings. Question about Kleem mantra. Parvati is the goddess of Kleem. So we're talking about Kleem on the Shreem Brzee session, but Kleem is the mantra for attracting things towards you, attracting love, healing relationships, things like that. Question from Facebook. I've fallen behind on my Varahi practices and Hiramba Ganapati practice. How can I repair them? Just start new. That's a great question because it could be for any practice, right? So I stopped doing my spiritual practice. I stopped doing any mantra or whatever. The best thing you can do is just get back to it. we can't change the past, right? And you don't need to feel ashamed or guilty or anything of that. The best thing you do is shift into a plan of action, and maybe you ask for forgiveness. Oh, I didn't pay attention to you. I'm sorry. Let me get back in tune. Remember, these archetypes are we're building a relationship with them. And if you don't pay attention to them, they may feel a little more distant next time you connect with them. So you have to work a little harder. It's kind of like you didn't call your mom for 2 months, 3 months, or a year. And you have to repair that relationship in the sense of seeing how you can connect more, building that connection back between the two of you. So that's how you would repair a relationship in any sense. So you do that with your archetypes as well. How to pronounce Om Gum, just how it looks, Om Gum. What does it mean? Gum is the mantra to remove obstacles. I don't have the exact translation of that word in terms of Sanskrit, but that is how we use it. We use it to call upon Lord Ganesha to remove obstacles for us, Om Gum. So on the, what I mentioned was the 4th moons during the month. So that would be on the June 2nd and the 16th. Those are times where you chant Om Gum to remove obstacles. So that means Kleem is also good on Friday too. Yes. So Fridays are good for Lakshmi in particular, because Venus is the overlord. And I'm sorry, because Venus rules Friday, and Lakshmi is the overlord of that particular planet, Venus. So very good. But there's a lot of feminine energy on Fridays. So yes, you can do other goddess mantras on Fridays, Friday nights. Definitely also do it on full moons. And then for Kleem, because Parvati, the goddess of Kleem, is the overlord of the moon, you can do it on Mondays as well. But anytime, you don't have to only do your practices on these particular power times. You want to do it all the time and also know when it's a little more effective, or a lot more effective in terms of some of the power times. Can we order products? It's starting to open up, so that's good news. We're going to be able to ship products soon. I believe the Shreem Brzee yantra is now available, which is good news. So little by little, it's just, there was just such a back order on everything, and particularly with shipping out of India. So now it looks like it's opening up again. Any other questions? All right, so I will wait for any more questions. Oh, I wrote a response I never sent in. We do. Okay, so please send your questions. While you're sending that, I will tell us a little bit more about the workshop in June. So on June 12th, we'll be hosting a workshop on the father of Brzee. It's a very exciting time because Vishwamitra is the divine being who was a king turned sage, Brahma Rishi, can basically achieve the highest form of yogi or rishihood that you could on the earth plane through so many different activities. And once he got there, he spent 1,500 years in meditation in a different dimension in order to come up with the sound Brzee, in order for that to be presented to him. And when he received it, he wanted to pass it on to the most pure, the most divine being on the earth plane, so that that person could pass it on to the rest of us. And that being was Dr. Pillai. And that happened in the late 1990s. And so on this webinar, we'll be talking a little bit more about who is Vishwamitra. How did Brzee come to us through Dr. Pillai, and connecting with this being, this beautiful divine being. He has so much to offer, so compassionate. In fact, his name literally means friend of the world, because he wanted so badly just to help people. And how he was able to do that was two great mantras, actually, the Gayatri mantra, the Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha, that mantra, as well as Brzee, two incredible, powerful mantras that he brought to the planet. So you're invited to tune in on these channels, Shreem Brzee Official, Facebook and YouTube, to have learn a little bit more about Vishwamitra and how you can connect with him. And maybe that will enhance your Shreem Brzee practice as well. I'm excited about it because I just love him. I've had amazing experiences in his temple in India, and I can't wait to share that with you. I will also be sharing a little bit of some footage from those temples just to kind of give you the vibe of the whole thing. So it's going to be amazing, and I hope that you can come. That's June 12th. I believe it's at 11 a.m. Pacific time, and I hope to see you there. Can I start Om Gum today? Yes, you can start Om Gum any day. In fact, saying it first is always perfect. What is the name of that special mountain in San Diego? I don't know about the special mountain in San Diego. There's a special mountain in California called Mount Shasta. And if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you'll see that I'm here right now in Mount Shasta, so I'm posting lots of pictures on it. So it's a very powerful spiritual mountain. All right. Someone's mentioning that they used the I'm mantra to attract a romantic gay relationship, which is a mantra that Dr. Pillai gave. So if you're in that boat, if you're a man wanting to attract a man, I'm is the mantra for you. I wonder what's going on astrologically. We're talking a lot about relationships and attraction on this Shreem Brzee session. This person's also asking, they said they are attracting interested parties, yet at the same time, I also see the mantra improving my interpersonal skills and leadership. Can you explain more about I'm? So I'm is the mantra for Saraswati. So we're talking about all the goddesses today. They must want to be talked about. So I'm is the mantra for Saraswati. She gives us divine intelligence, wisdom. She embodies the arts, entertainment, speech, education, learning. So she is this amazing, and she's a the creator goddess. And so there's many aspects of her. So when you chant her mantra, just like any seed sound, whether it's Gum for Ganesha, Shreem for Lakshmi, Kleem for Parvati, I'm for Saraswati, that is the seed sound. It is encapsulated. And Dr. Pillai says if you plant the seed of a mango tree, the whole mango tree will grow from it, right? So you don't need the whole tree, you need the seed of it. And once you plant that seed, the mantra, inside of oneself and begin to water it and nurture it and feed it by chanting it, writing it, meditating on it, using it, then that grows out from that seed to into our consciousness more and more. And the more we embody it, our vibrations change, and then things begin to happen. So if you're vibrating with Kleem, you'll notice people are attracted to you, or you may be healing your relationships more easily. If you're chanting I'm, you might attract certain types of you might attract male gay relationships. If that's not for you, I'm embodies the divine intelligence. Shreem, material wealth and blessings, right, from Lakshmi. So that's the seed mantra. So no matter which one you're using, that is how that works. And so of course, if you're using one mantra for one thing, it may also have a different side effect, which is beautiful, right? Because it's all beneficial to us. So Kleem not only attracts relationships, it also helps to heal relationships, right? Create harmony in existing relationships. It can also, it's very, It's very, so Krishna uses Kleem, the Kleem mantra. Parvati uses the Kleem mantra. So a lot of Mayic activity, a lot of joy and love that is surrounding this mantra. So yes, you may have other side effects from using a mantra, and they're always good. So yeah, once you lock into a mantra and you're using one, it's beautiful to see how it unfolds. And thank you for that question, because you're actually experiencing how the use of one mantra is actually affecting your life in a variety of ways. And you're attuned, you're aware enough to see that, which is wonderful. That's what we want to do. We want to know how it's affecting us. We want to keep using it in order to get these benefits to come in, because you don't want to just start and stop. People say, well, how long do I need to do Shreem Brzee? You need to keep doing it until whatever desired result has been achieved, and or your vibration shifts so that the inner becomes the outer, right? When your vibration is shifting, when you're changing, the outer will represent that. And that's how you'll know it's working. So you never really stop a mantra unless you want to switch and shift gears to something, focus on a different area. So they're all wonderful and beneficial. What you'll want to do is see what works best for you and follow that through. All right, other questions. I'm getting a Lakshmi pendant. How would I bless it? If you ordered it from Pillai Center or Astroved, it's already blessed and energized in the rituals that we perform. If you ordered it from somewhere else, how you would bless it is hold it in your the palm of your left hand, place the palm of your right hand over top of it, and then meditate with it and chant into it. So Om Shreem Brzee or Om, any Lakshmi mantra that you know and that you want to use. Shreem Brzee will be the easiest and simplest. Mahalakshmi, whatever it is. But you're holding in your palms. Your palms are energy centers. And this is also how you work with your yantra if you have one, and then chant into it. You can also put it on your altar and do a little puja to it, like answer by offering light, incense, food, flowers, water, all of those things. That's how you can energize it. Oh, I have lots of questions today. Okay. Contact number for Pillai Center, India, that should be on our website, if not write to us. And there's also chat that you can connect with. How do I use Shreem Brzee yantra? Okay. Well, I didn't see that one, but I also just answered it. So when you have your Shreem Brzee yantra, there's a couple things you want to do with it. I don't have to have mine with me or I'd show you. You take this yantra, place it in the palm of your left hand, place your right hand over top when you're meditating. This is how you receive the energy from the yantra. Yantra literally means machine, which means it's constantly working. It's constantly churning out whatever sacred geometry is on that particular metal plate. And in our case, it's the Shreem Brzee mantra. So this mantra is continually being activated and generated. So whenever you put a yantra in your environment, that energy is coming through this yantra, filling the environment. So how do you take advantage of that? How do you take it in, and how do you cultivate it? How do you have it continue to stay active for you? Two things. One, you hold it in your hand, like I mentioned, and now this energy is flowing through you. It's being activated. It's going through the energy of your palms into your whole body, like an electrical circuit. Okay, so that's how you're taking it in. Now, how do you keep the energy going in your yantra? How do you keep it energized? Well, for that, you want to make offerings to it. Like we talked about before, building a relationship with something or someone is the same thing. You have to keep it going. You can't just set it on the shelf and forget it for a year and be like, oh, that's still my real active yantra. Not so much. Not so much. When you keep it active, and how do you keep it active? Puja, offerings. And if you're not sure what that means, simple activities such as lighting a lamp or ghee lamp ghee lamp or candle and offering light. How do you offer light? So let's say the yantra is here. You take it with your right hand and you offer light like this. So you're saying that that's going in opposite direction. What I'm doing is it's going in clockwise. So you take the light and offer clockwise, and you chant the mantra Shreem Brzee Om Shreem Brzee Om Shreem Brzee. Say a little prayer. Take a flower petal, a flower, offer it to the yantra. Take a little drop of water, place it on the yantra. You take some food, maybe some candy, or chocolate candy, or dried fruit or fruit, offer it to the yantra. Incense or some sort of nicely smelling scent, offer it to the yantra. Okay, so you take these elements and we make offerings: light, incense, food, flowers, water. There's 5 different elements, and that keeps the yantra enlivened, keeps it activated. So that's what you want to do. That's how you care for your yantra on a regular basis. Now, you can also pour water or milk or orange juice over top of the yantra and hydrate it. This is where it becomes even more active. Dr. Pillai recommends we do this on those special power times that I just mentioned in June. So if you have a yantra or a statue, I happen to have my little statue here with me today. If you have a yantra or a statue, on those power times, you pour water first, get it all wet, and then you pour milk, cow's milk. Why cow's milk? Because the cow is a divine being representing the embodiment of gods and goddesses. And Dr. Pillai also says that by using this, it is taking that energy and infusing it into your Lakshmi statue. So you can also do orange juice, honey, yogurt. There's a variety of things you can pour, but the simplest is water and milk. And sometimes if you don't use milk, just use water. When I was doing my yantra hydration, like every day, several times a day, I was just literally just pouring some water on the sink. And that was a way to help and then get it activated. And it was working. So do what you can. Okay for me to have a small Lakshmi pic in my wallet. Perfect. Everyone should have a small Lakshmi picture in their wallet. It's Dr. Pillai, when I first started studying with him 22 years ago, one of the things he said is we put these powerful objects, blessed items in our wallet. And one of them was a picture of Lakshmi. So yes, definitely place that. She's there protecting your wealth. So you definitely want to have that. How do I activate my yantra? I just gave that answer. So I hope that works for you, Eric. How can I get the Hora times? Go to the App Store, on whichever device you're using, and go to AstroVed Hora Watch or AstroVed Assistance app, and you'll be able to get the Horas that way. The journey to acquire wealth can be lonely. That is why Kaleem has been appealing. Yeah, the journey to self-development can sometimes be lonely. And yes, attracting the right person is important. All right, Goddess did manifest me a mobile. Wonderful. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for your feedback on the explanation. If there's any questions. If Babaji blessed my items in person with the statue and yantra efficiency and blessings be taken away when I wash them? Nope, not at all. Yeah. I accidentally put the yantra in the washing machine. Has it lost its power? No, it hasn't. But you do want to bring it back to its divine nature. So it's been through a bit. Set it up, do a hydration with milk, with any other substances that I mentioned, and then do your puja, your offerings, and allow it to kind of come back to itself. But you're fine. Just to keep going with it. Can you please say something about, and I'm seeing a lot of these comments, NFTs, contact me if you have ideas about that. It's something I have been interested in doing with Dr. Pillai. All right, let me see. Okay, can you say something about overnight money manifestation? Well, Dr. Pillai, there's two paths to manifesting. And one, he will say, money's not going to fall off the roof. You have to actually do something about it. And then the other, and that's the action path, or the very practical path. And then the other side is the faith path of absolutely feeling 100% that something will happen for you. And it could happen in a miraculous way. It can happen in an absolute miraculous way. So we're not promoting that there is going to be some overnight, money manifestation. It's really about your commitment to Shreem Brzee and the inner creating the outer, and everyone's path is different. The velocity in which your manifestation becomes material has to do with your karma, your commitment, and then your consciousness. So that's why when we talk about these power times, it's important to know that there's power times to remove the karma, remove the blockages, remove the thoughts that prevent us from having abundance, removing the poverty and scarcity consciousness that's an inbuilt from our parents, our ancestors, or current lifetime experiences, or past lifetime experiences, all in there. It's all baked into our karma that we're coming into this life and growing inside of this life. We want to remove all of that and open up the pathways to a new awakened consciousness, a new ability to believe in manifestation of wealth and abundance for ourselves, for others, for the world. So we do not promote an overnight manifestation. It really has to do with these three factors that I mentioned. So you get on the path and you do your work. What is your work? Your work is the mantra. It is the karma removal process. It is the continuation of dreaming up the life you want to manifest, infusing it with the sounds of Shreem Brzee. All of that on a regular basis, every single day. There is no rest if you want to manifest. So there are some very lucky people who can start chanting Shreem Brzee and have a very quick turnaround of the blessings that come pouring down upon them. And that's to do with their karma. So that's what I mentioned. Your karma, your commitment, and your consciousness all play a part in how quickly you manifest in Shreem Brzee. Is listening offline with SoundCloud Shreem Brzee audio just as powerful as the YouTube one? Yeah, same mantra. Doesn't matter if it's offline or online. You'll want to listen in Dr. Pillai's voice. That is what I definitely recommend. Why? Because he's the one who's empowered it. He is the provider. He's the creator of this mantra. And so when a divine enlightened being passes on a mantra, it is done so with an energy empowerment. So you want to use his voice when you're listening to Shreem Brzee. I can see my partner gets Shreem Brzee benefits when I chant, but not me. That's interesting. There's a story of this couple who she was, and is completely immersed in Shreem Brzee, but then she noticed her husband was getting promotions and he was getting, increase in his pay and all these wonderful things happening, but it benefited their family. So it's not like she was upset about it. She was the catalyst. And a lot of times that will happen in male-female relationships. The female is the activator. She's the creatress. And the male will sometimes receive those benefits because of the relationship with her, with the goddess, right? So the females more effortlessly embody the goddess energy. And then that can be benefited by the men in their lives. So yes, that could happen. Doesn't mean you're not also getting benefits. Hopefully there's some shared benefit in your partner getting, any increments or benefits that you could share as well. But don't give up, keep doing it. The benefits of mantra feels like compound interest. It accumulates gradually over time. 100%, 100%. I can't emphasize enough that it is a continual process. Don't come here wanting an overnight sensation or miracle that something's going to happen. It may happen, and God bless, and we are in full support, but we're not setting that expectation up at all. We have karma to remove, right? The mantra is the remedy to remove karma. Remember that. The mantra is the remedy to remove karma. You have to repeat it. And yes, your thinking pattern has to change. Your mindset has to shift, and that is the karma. So your karma is feeding our mind and vice versa, right? Like our thoughts are feeding back into our karmic process. That has to be interrupted by our awareness, interrupted on a soul level. And that's where these rituals come in. That's where the mantra comes in. If you're continually having the mantra in your mind, whether you're playing it in your room or chanting it inwardly, it's helping to override and shift the thoughts that'll be coming. So at the very least, even if you're in a bad place, just play the mantra in your space, in your headset anyway, so that you can continually be bombarded with the mantra. Dr. Pillai talked about how being hammer the mantra into you so that it changes and shifts your mindset, shifts the karma on a, your brain level and in a soul level and a body level. Every part of us is made up of vibrations. Yes, this will be rebroadcast. Is it okay to use Dr. Pillai's mantras with mantras from other creators? What Dr. Pillai says is, do not get creative in terms of creating your own mantra. You can use a variety of mantras, just use them separately. So do your Shreem Brzee, do that for 108 times. You do Kleem, do that 108 times. Do Om Gum, do that 108 times. Do whatever mantra, do that however many times. But don't do Shreem Brzee, Gum, Kleem, during the Kantam, right? You don't combine them. We leave that to the experts, and we just use the mantras as they've been created by the divine beings who have given them to us. But we can do them. You can do different mantras throughout the day, as many as you'd like. See which one works for you. Claire, I am really happy to hear that you received lots of money in April and May. Sweet. Someone in Rhythm said, trust me, guys, if you can do Shreem Brzee 5 hours, you'll have a new brain. Yeah, last month we did a 9-hour retreat, and this month we're going to do 5 hours all together on the full moon. So we hope you join us there. Like I said earlier, we're going to do a mini fire lab, which is candle and ghee, and you'll be invited to participate by doing that at home. And then we'll follow that with a 4-hour meditation. So we're going to be utilizing this amazing full moon energy for some more manifestation process. All right, any other questions before we... Question from Facebook, recite Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha or Shreem Brzee. You can do either one. How would I bless it? I think you're mentioning your either your yantra or your picture. I mentioned that just by holding something and putting the energy of Shreem Brzee into it, or are you doing an offering on there of it? What day will the 5-hour meditation be? It'll be on June 13th, which is the full moon. So the full moon on my calendar starts in the morning at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. So it's going to go all day until the next morning. So our session will be US evening, which you can participate anytime. I mean, you can join us no matter where it is around the world. Hopefully it'll still be the full moon time. Even if it's not, you'll still get the benefits of doing this intensive meditation. So June 13th, full moon. There's a question about having done Shreem Brzee for 6 months and not receiving any benefits. I answer that in the sense of everyone's going to have a different reaction to how quickly Shreem Brzee acts or provides benefits depending upon our karma. So continue to do this karma removal process. Brzee at the throat, Shreem Brzee at the throat, limes, lemons, coconuts, hydration of your yantra or statue. All of that help accelerate it. Join in group. On Fridays, every Friday, we do a group meditation. So I did a webinar, I think it was last month or 1 month recently, about how to accelerate the Shreem Brzee process. Watch that video. There's a variety of ways to accelerate. Group synergy, being in group, rituals, power times. When you combine these, you're accelerating the process. But for anyone who's doing Shreem Brzee for a long period of time and not having any results, that is a karmic blockage. And what you want to do is do these karma removal techniques. And there's also a webinar on that. You can watch specifically on those, but I gave you a very brief summary of these objects, lime, lemon, and coconuts, that extract our karma, extract our negativity. And I'm focusing on the throat because Dr. Pillai talks about how the throat is a juncture of karma. And when we can, and so it gets stored here in our shoulders, in our head, and our brain, and all of our body. But here, this area is very concentrated, more highly concentrated karmic patterns get stored here. And so when we can remove them, that would be beneficial. So Brzee specifically is the mantra to be removing karma, or Tironi Lakantam. And there'll be other videos on that. Can you explain Shreem Brzee at the throat briefly? Yeah, I was just doing that. So Dr. Pillai in July of 2021 did a video on Guru Purnima and talked about how important it is to remove your karma in order to manifest. And he gave this technique: focus at the throat and chant Shreem Brzee. Whenever a negative thought comes, focus at the throat and chant Shreem Brzee. And this is a process for helping diffuse and disrupt the karmic patterns that we have that are negative, that are heavy, that are not guiding us towards prosperity consciousness, that are not supportive of prosperity consciousness. Maybe they have scarcity, fear, poverty, jealousy, greed, all the negative components that keep us into a more stuck position. Shreem Brzee at the throat can help diffuse those. So whenever you feel or notice those thoughts or those feelings come up for you, Shreem Brzee at the throat. And that is how you can diffuse karmic patterns with Shreem Brzee. I think I answered your questions on the Shreem Brzee in the throat. If not, just post them again. Okay. What is the power of Shreem Brzee? I think we've been talking about that for a while. But in essence, the power of Shreem Brzee is the power of purity, prosperity, and beauty coming through and being embodied. So Dr. Pillai talks about how Shreem Brzee gives us joy, gives us abundance, it gives us purity, it gives us love, it gives us fulfillment, it gives us creativity. There's so many aspects of purity and love and abundance that Shreem Brzee can bring through. So that is the power of Shreem Brzee. And how you receive the power of Shreem Brzee, it's through the chanting of the mantra. It is when you chant the mantra so much and meditate upon it so much, you begin to embody the vibration of it, then that comes through in your life. That is what begins to help you be fulfilled in the sense of what Shreem Brzee can be giving and what Shreem Brzee is blessing you with. So you start with how to use the mantra and then see how it unfolds for you. Hope that answers your question. All right, I think I answered everybody. You become what you think, absolutely. Yeah, there's another post about someone else getting the benefits. When you chant Shreem Brzee, the people who are close to you will notice, subconsciously or consciously. So this mantra will be expanding beyond you to your loved ones, people you have connections with. And that could happen in a variety of ways. So maybe you're also getting benefits and they do as well. Or maybe you feel like you're not getting quite as much benefit as someone else is. Maybe the divine is working through them in a different way. Do not get disheartened. Just know that, yes, anything that comes through us filters into other people around us, people that we love and care for, we have connection with, and that's okay. But we want to make sure that we also receive benefits. So just allow that to occur, be happy for them, and continue your practice. Make sure the energy is flowing through you into your life as well. So stay committed and don't get distracted on what might be happening to others around you, and keep Shreem Brzee in your heart so that she can bless and be with you. Do you think we also need to work on our beliefs about money and the inner work, or does Shreem Brzee help with that area? It's a really good question. So yes, you do need to work on your beliefs, and Shreem Brzee does work on that area. So when Dr. Pillai talks about mindset and monitoring and understanding and knowing when those negative thoughts are coming, those are your beliefs that don't support what it is you want to create, right? So if you say you want money, but underneath you feel unworthy of it, that is a belief system. And as soon as you can become aware of that, you can begin to deconstruct or diffuse that negative thought or feeling or emotion or belief with Shreem Brzee at the throat, or Brzee at the throat. Now, if you're not aware of the belief systems that are kind of running the show, then doing Shreem Brzee will help offset those, will help diffuse them at a deep level. It's good to become aware, because that level of awareness can help us root in to what it is. When you name a demon, right? When you name an issue, you have more power over it. When it's operating and you're not sure it's there, it has more power over you. So naming and becoming aware of the beliefs that are holding you back is very important. And that's why you do Shreem Brzee, to diffuse them. However, if you're not quite sure yet what it is, then chanting Shreem Brzee continually will help to either have them surface or have them be diffused. And maybe you don't even need to know what they are. So yes, the path is twofold, to be becoming aware and diffusing, as well as just continuing to do Shreem Brzee and maybe asking the divine to help you become aware of what other belief systems are preventing you, the scarcity, this poverty that is inbuilt in our system, in our negative brain, in our frontal cortex, in our ancestors, in our astrology, in our parents, however it's come to you. We want to ask Brzee and Shreem Brzee to be diffusing that along the way for us. So yeah, very important. All right, I think I answered all your questions. The mantra will give you the energy to make the necessary changes in your life. Yes, it will. Thank you for that. All right, I think that's everything. So great conversation today. Really appreciate everyone being here. Shreem Brzee changes your life. Yes, it does. Yeah, wonderful conversation. Really appreciate you all. Come back on June 12th, where we'll be talking about Vishwamitra. And then, of course, again, June, I think 26th, I will be doing, or someone will be doing, a forecast into July Shreem Brzee Powertimes. And until then, continue to chant your Shreem Brzee mantra. Join Wealth Powertime events so that we can be with you every week with the Friday pujas, with the full moon. This month is going to be a mini fire lab plus 4-hour meditation. And we can really continue to build this practice together. So I hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful and powerful June, time of transformation and enlightenment. And we will see you soon. Namaste.